One. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of ArmTalk. I'm your host, Jody Williams, and today I got the four guys. One's missing, but he'll be hopping on here shortly. That'll be taking place at the LLD Summer Bash Tournament here in Redmond, Oregon, June 21st. Nick Mo's in the house. Nick, how you doing?
Good.
There you go. Give us a good flex, all right? Kung Fu Louis Horvath, how you doing, buddy?
I'm little. Leave me alone. Don't hurt me. No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling happy.
I got my man Derek, the teammate of mine. He's going to get some Wi-Fi things taken care of and stuff. He's not there. Hey, Cire Brown's supposed to be joining us, so hopefully he'll make it too. So, Drew, what's up? Welcome to the show. Ryan Bussiere, great job over the weekend. So, did anybody catch any of
some good battles over the weekend? Good job.
Yeah, did everybody catch over the Arizona State tournament over the weekend?
I hadn't finished watching it, but I did. I watched a bit of it. I didn't watch it all the way to the. I liked what they did. So they did amateurs, semi-pro, and pro.
Yep.
So it was interesting to see. Like I figured, like, where would I see myself? Do I see myself as a semi-pro? Do I see myself as a pro? Where do I see myself hanging? And it's like, you know, I probably would have just hyped myself up and pulled pro just because I like getting my ass kicked. But
well, here, before we get into our topic, let's talk about that for a second. How do y'all feel about the semi-pro class? Because I know it started on the East Coast and down south, and they kind of migrated over here. And, you know, I've had opinions about it. They've changed, though, where before it was like, well, if you pull semi-pro, you're basically getting the same people in amateur.
Yes and no.
Yeah, and when I took a step back, then I kind of go, oh, okay, well, semi-pro is for the guys that would just whop everybody in the amateur, but then they would go tune out in the open. So it's kind of like, okay, there's that happy medium. So where do you guys – yeah.
I look at it –
What's your opinions about that?
So I look at it as an opportunity for somebody to pull more. If they're not ready for the pro class, they can pull amateurs and semi-pro to get more experience. Full board say. So like that'd be a good way to get more experience, like hold more hands. Say there's other people in the amateur class, but they're in the semi-pro class. You got to pull both. You're not quite ready for the pro class, so that's that middle option.
Well, and also if we look at it from a European standpoint, that's how the Europeans do it. They've got juniors, and then what it's like seniors is their top. Is they're open basically, but then they've got two classes below that, which is basically like amateur, semi-pro, and pro. You know, and that's how they run everything over there. If you're pulling in like in the Euro arms, like they just did, you have juniors and seniors, and that's done by age. You know, but for the most of all their tournaments, everything is done in 3 different categories.
Yep.
Right.
I think it would be beneficial because I've noticed like a lot of our teammates over the years have kind of quit when they're in that stage where they win amateurs and then they can't break into open. They kind of get discouraged because it is kind of hard to break into open and start winning some matches.
Dude, I got my ass kicked for years.
Yeah.
In open. Like it was like, all right, you won your first amateur tournament, you went balls out and went undefeated at an Arizona State in 2021. And then I never pulled amateurs. Well, I can't say never. I pulled amateurs a few times since then, but I've dominated in the amateurs. So like Colorado State, I went 9-0 in Colorado State, left and right hand. Then I pulled open and I got my ass handed to me, but I was 9 matches deep. So there's something to be said there. And then Washington this last year, there wasn't anybody in my weight class for the open division. So I pulled amateurs, you know, and I went out undefeated. I think I lost 1 match because I was sleeping. I left-handed. I lost 1 match.
What wasn't it Tim and Bok Tong in the 242 class?
I think it was Jody, Bok Tong, and James Wood.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, left hand.
I wanted to get some arms.
That is a stat class.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I stand no chance against him. I stand no chance against Vakton. It's like Woods, you know, I felt like I could do something with Woods. Jody, I stopped him in the middle, and we went to hand battle. So I was like, all right, you know, I'm feeling good about myself. But there was just no arms in that class that time, especially in the left hand. I don't think, or no, right hand. Like there was nothing in the right hand.
Yeah,
you're traveling too. You want to pull people, you know.
Yeah,
and
I got a lot of shit for it, but whatever.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. In your situation, maybe some people, Lewis, view you as like, dude, why are you pulling amateur? And you're trying to get some work in too. So, but I look at it like this, like, well, and I'm glad Tim brought the semi-pro, and I'm hoping he brings it to Washington State. Not for me, but just for those people who are like on the cusp, and like, hey, I want to make some damage, but I'm not quite there yet. And so, because there are levels, and when you pull amateur class, you pull open class in the same day at the same tournament, you will recognize there's levels to the sport.
Well, and I think a big part of it, it's a big mental game too when you make that next step. So it's like you can pull amateurs and beat everybody, and 90%, I'd say probably 95% of that is going to be based off of strength and strength alone, and very little technique. And then you start pulling into the open, and then the people all match your strength or exceed your strength and have much better technique. So it's like pulling in that semi-pro class, you're going to get a lot of those guys that all are around your same strength, but then it's coming down to who's honed their technique the best, who can stay calm in those dire moments to see when they need to make those transitions. That separates a pro athlete from a semi-pro athlete. It's the mental game. It's that table, IQ and acuity.
So another thing that you pointed out earlier also is when you're pulling both classes, you're going into the open class tired because usually they do amateurs first. So that makes it even harder to break in if you're wanting to pull both classes. You almost have to just jump into open with both feet, sort of, and just say you're an open puller only.
So Ryan Boussier, who was at Arizona State, says, and I'm assuming you're talking about that tournament over the weekend. He goes, so you were only allowed to pull up one level. Amateurs could pull semi-pro, but not pro, and semi could pull pro. Yes, I mean, it's like
it makes sense.
Pull down,
It's going to stop a lot of injury too.
Right, but then sometimes you just got to go, okay, I know a lot of people, when they pull multiple classes, their goal is to just win everything. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I was there once upon a time, but now it's more like, okay, if I lose a few matches, no big deal. And some people have a hard time losing that. And it's like, you know what? It's just arm wrestling, folks. It's just arm wrestling, So anyway, I don't know where Cire is, but I gave him the link, so hopefully he'll join out. So first things first.
Get his butt in here.
I know, right? He was at Wyoming State over the weekend, so.
Yeah, yes, he was, and he did well. I think he plays first, left, and right-handed.
Yep.
He got wins on AJ Henson, and then there's a couple. There's like a couple of other guys he beat too, but it was it looked like a fun event.
Right. All right, we got Niels and Nick's finger. What's up, buddy? My man out of Canada. So Derek, Lewis, let's have it because you guys are going to be the first match of the event. Super matches. Tell us how you guys feel. There is no weight cap, so if I can let everybody know a few secrets, what you guys' weight right now? What are we looking at?
Derek, about 262.
262?
Oh, sorry. 262.
Okay, where are you at, Lewis?
I have come down. I was at 265, and now I'm down to 240.
There you go. All right. That's good. And, Derek, question for you. What's going to make this super match this year different from last year? Because last year you had a super match at my event, and unfortunately you came into a buzzsaw with David Till. He was able to get the win, 3-0. But what's going to make it different this time around?
So I think in that match with David, I felt like I controlled his hand as much as I possibly could. Didn't have the arm power to play any defense or finish what I was able to take center table. I've spent the last, since then working on my arm strength, and I just think that it's going to be too much.
There you go. Lewis, what we got, man? What we got?
I'm just here as I say it. I'll keep it PC. I'm here to mess shit up.
Yeah.
And like I did with Chuck Young, it's like I don't care. Put him in front of me. I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna bring the intensity. I did. I stayed with it. You know what it was. You and I were supposed to have a super match, Jody, May 23rd or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So when I got that word, I hit it hard, real hard, really hard. I mean, you know what I
Yeah.
was doing. You know what was happening. You know, I was geared up, ready to rock and roll.
I saw you in Idaho. You look good in Idaho.
Yeah, no, I felt good. I was, and well, at that point in time, like I had training real hard, so I was fatigued because that day that you and I pulled in Idaho, I had been on a nonstop, like every day, at least 3 to 4 days a week in the gym, and it had all been heavy lifting. I mean, 220 pounds, single arm bent over rows, stand up rows at 300 something pounds. Like everything was just as heavy as could be. Lat pull downs, maxed every machine out in the gym on lat pull downs, seated rows. Like it was just, everything was big. The preacher curls, it was like single arm sets at 105, single arm sets, hammer curls, very, minimal cheat. It's just, it was just jamming. So then it was like, well, Jody and I stepped off and it didn't happen. So I was like, all right, pump the brakes. I'll chill out a little bit. So I eased up on it and just focused more on pulling and, working hand and maintaining on that. So it's like I got the chance to pull with Christian. Oh, he's from Louisiana. What's his name? Christian
Moore.
Yes.
The big guy. He's really explosive and fast.
How'd that feel?
Oh my God.
He's insane. He's insane.
You got some work to get to him, man. A lot of good words from him. He said your side pressure feels great. It's a lot better than most of the people that he feels side pressure with, which was really good. But granted, I mean, I couldn't budge him. My left feels good, and I was like, oh yeah. He's like, oh yeah, my left is my better arm, and I was like, sweet dude, I got something for your left. No, just kidding. So it was
his left is stupid. I watched videos of him. His left is stupid good and it's fast.
Yeah, and he was just like, oh, I don't hit people because I don't get hurt. I'm like, bro, you can hit me all day long. I don't care. Like, I know how to protect myself. I know how to take a hit. Like, you're fine. And he's like, no, I don't want to hurt anybody. I was like, all right, fine, whatever.
Ooh, good point. Let's bring that up for a second. How do you guys feel outside of your own club that you train with, and when you go to different training practices and stuff? How do you guys feel about just doing ready goes and stuff? Because I mean, I'll tell you my opinion. And Derek knows about this because we're teammates, but unless the other person wants to work on that, we'll work on that. But me getting to the sport earlier back in the 2010s, where that's all our team did we just did ready, go to get ready for tournament, which was good. But then you wear yourself out and you don't work on your weaknesses, different areas, that kind of stuff by doing ready goes all the time. So how do you guys feel about doing ready goes in practice? Derek, I'll let you go first.
I like ready goes. I'm a polite practice puller. I'll kind of like let the other person pace and choose what they would like to do. But if they want to do ready goes, I definitely like feeling sharp and seeing what they got.
Nick, how you feel about that?
So personally, our squad specifically, the two squads I pull with, there's a time and place for Ready Goes. We specifically work on Ready Goes a couple months out from events, leading up to a couple weeks out from the events to get us ready for events. I think there's a time and place. I think they're beneficial. There's also a non-benefit to it as well if you're super new, because the risk of injury if you're pulling a stronger person that doesn't know like how to pull a new guy. But I do think there's a lot of benefit in Ready Goes because 90% of your matches are based on a Ready Go in a tournament or Supermatch. That's based on how you hit, how fast you are, taking center table, getting hand control on a Ready Go, getting your cup engaged on a Ready Go, supination, and anything that you can get in a Ready Go. I think is super beneficial to practice on.
There you go. Lewis, what do you think?
Well, Alan likes to, Alan's kind of taken over as far as, lead on with practices and stuff now that he's moved out here.
And just so you know, my next trip is going to be over there, by the way. So
yeah, when?
I got to figure things out, but that'll be my next trip is to come out to Idaho, spend a weekend out there with you and Alan, those guys.
Mhm.
Derek, I'll bring Derek with me. We'll come out there, whatever, just kind of get some stuff there, so. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me know when, and I'll come out too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Alan likes to do ready goes a couple weeks out, work cadence and hits a couple weeks out from tournaments. Personally, I'm doing ready goes all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, when I practice, like I'm in the group of people, it goes Rob and then Tristan and then Ian, Ryan, and me, right? And we're all just kind of floating around, going back and forth with each other. So when we pull, we're banging on each other. I mean, and it's like as soon as we get grips, we're ripping on
Right.
each other, getting all that kind of stuff, and we're doing a lot of ready goes like all the time. So which for me, I feel great. Like I honestly I pulled right hand last week with Ryan, and it was, if I can control his hand, and he knows if he lets me get him over to that other side, he struggles to get it across. So it's like he's hitting hard, and I'm really trying to slow him up and just getting torched across the table time after time after time. And most other people are going to be like, I'm done. I'm fucked. I can't work. I just this and that. But I'll leave practice and be like, good. Oh, Paul Stevens, how you feeling? He just decided to show up.
Oh, yes.
Show up. I don't even pull with Alan because Alan is not strong enough for us. He is explosive and he can manipulate things, but I think Alan's technique is from wrist wrestling. How Alan moves and what he does is solely off of his wrist wrestling experience.
He's very explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled with him in the after pulls a little bit, and if you don't expect him to hit, he's definitely tricky. And he's got a really big hand, really big hand for his weight class too.
Yeah, but you just learn he's a top roller, so you just stop his top knuckle and he can't do anything.
If you can, or grip him just a little bit lower, just to kind of turn him over and get to his bicep, but that's easier said than done too. But I like this comment right here from Neil. He said, good communication is the key to in practice and will prevent chance of injuries. Yeah. So, and just by my experience, I've been, stuff in the past where I'm thinking, let's just, when you first roll into it, and there, you get some of those guys that really want to pull you and they get all giddy on the table. And I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and grip up. All of a sudden they're like locked in and they're just ready to take off. It's like going, whoa, buddy. Let's just roll into it first, And again, it's all about preventing injuries and stuff. And maybe the person's not ready to, absorb that. If they want to say ready to go, I'm cool with that. Just let me know. Or I'll let you know when I'm ready for it, because maybe people have a different agenda when they go to a different practice. So here, I'll give you an example. Yeah. Derek and I, over the weekend, went up to Mark Owen's place, and we all had both of us had a game plan, because I as I said before we got one live on the show, that, it's only two of us that's on a consistent basis. And so, Derek knows where I'm going or he's going. You're going to get so much done. So we have to have our practice in a different format. Whereas when we go to a bigger practice, okay, cool. All the workouts that Derek does, all the workouts that I do, how does that implement on a table against somebody you're not familiar with? Different hand, different style, that, et cetera, et cetera. Is that about true, Derek? Is that about?
Yeah. I was just kind of anxious to test myself against someone other than you and Nana, because that's the only people I pull. And getting released from my surgery like a couple months ago, and just not really knowing where I'd stack with the guys that I've pulled in the past.
Right.
Some of that practice was really important to kind of see where I was at.
Yeah. How you feel about that, Nick? I know you like to just go all over the place throughout the whole state. So how do you feel about that? I mean, practicing and just kind of going, let's do this, let's do that. I mean, what do you actually work on?
So it's usually what's on the other person's agenda. So usually what I'm practicing a couple weeks out from a match is center of table strength. So I will work that. But if anybody else wants to work whatever they want to work, then I'm down to work on whatever.
Right.
But the thing that I'm mainly focused on is center table strength and hand control.
Mm-hmm.
And working 10 to 2 on the table, so 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So I think if you can get the stop at 10 you're good. And if you can get them 2-2 on your side of the table, you're good as well. So I think working those two positions is super important and very beneficial. So 10 center 2 is usually what I like to work.
There you go. How about you, Lewis? You got that big, strong group over there in Idaho?
It depends. Like I said, Ian, Tristan, and I, we bang on each other real hard. But we'll switch it up, when I'm working with some of the other guys. So we do have the number one left-hander in Idaho, 176. He's Idaho's number one. We'll just we'll clarify. He's Idaho's number one at 176. And we work a lot with him with center table. A lot of the younger guys, we work that center table, making sure you're keeping that good angle and that good pressure.
Is that Alexander Groot?
No, not Groot. So Groot's number one, right hand.
Oh, right. Okay, right hand. Okay.
RJ is number one, left hand.
RJ Harold?
Yes.
Okay, yep. I pulled with him when I stayed at his house and his room, I forget his roommate's name, but I stayed at their house and I pulled with him a little. Yeah. He's pretty strong left-handed.
Yeah, and it's getting a lot better. He can really just get it in and get that shoulder in behind and it's not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun to go inside with him.
Before we shift gears, because Cire's not on the show yet, but let me go ahead and throw it to Nick. So when I gave you this opportunity, Nick, and I was like, okay, you know what? And originally it was supposed to be a different guy that was going to pull you guys, but then he had surgery and that wasn't going to work out. And I thought, and just coming from me, I'm thinking, and I've said this before time and time again, I said, now I'll say it with my chest. I say right now, Nick Mode is the strongest person in the state of Oregon, arm wrestling wise. That's just my opinion. So I thought, with Cire coming, I said, hey, you're already coming to LLD. Why not give you a match? I said, I got the perfect person for you. I just got to make sure the planets align, that kind of stuff. So when I gave you this match, what was your original thoughts for that, Nick?
So my original thoughts about my original match or my thoughts about the Cire match?
No, but Cire match. I think you need to get away from that match. This is more like
that match is in the past. The past couple months, I've been focused strictly on the Cire match. I'm really excited. I was really excited when y'all offered me the match for sure. I didn't know what to think at first, but after watching some videos and some footage, I'm getting a little more confident each day. So, he's definitely getting the best Nick Mode that's ever walked the planet, and I'm just telling you that right now. So.
Woo, man, I'm telling you, because if the Nick I know shows up, it's going to be a battle, and I'm telling you right now. So we got some call outs possibly. All right, Neil Index Finger says Nick needs to pull my boy Sean Crowther. Oh, I know him. That's a stud too, by the way.
From Canada, right?
Yep.
I'm definitely down to pull him. I got offered a match with him in Montana, but he couldn't make it because of work. It was supposed to be in April, so I missed out on that and went to the Idaho event instead. And they were gonna retalk that match in August or September, then the next Montana event.
Well, there you go. And like I said, and then I was looking forward to the M spot, and it's unfortunate that they kind of just shut everything down, went their separate ways. Because I was like, man, that would have been a good promotion for the four of us and then something to pull in, So, but like I said, other opportunities will open up. So, Derek, my friend, what do you have going on the rest of the year? What does your outlook look like for the rest of 2025? Because the calendar year is halfway done already.
Yeah. So summer is always super busy. It feels like for arm wrestling in Oregon. So we have your tournament and Joe Woody. Mark has a tournament this year. There's one in Idaho that's like right outside of Vancouver on like August 2nd that I want to go to. So there's going to be like 3 tournaments in 3 weeks I'm going to try to go to. And then it'll be hunting season and then December, which I kind of treat December tournament Washington State as kind of like my Super Bowl for myself. Like I like to go test myself against those guys.
Hey, like I said, what does that look like for you, Lewis? Because I know you said you're going to go ahead on this program and you're shooting after this event coming up all eyes are going to be pointing toward, Washington State. True?
Yeah, I want to place this year, Washington State. I want to place. I want to actually, like, I know I've done okay. Last year was okay. I needed to get the pulling in, so I pulled, AMs and then pulled open. You and I think, had my wrist not been, had my mental state been different, and I just pushed through that twinge in my left wrist, we probably would have gone straps, and it would have been a fun little match, and see, where you and I truly lined up. But all in all, like, pulled James Wall. Felt good with James with the back pressure. He did the right thing, and he attacked the pressure of where I was putting it, and pulled me into a hook. But it didn't feel like it was super easy for him, in my opinion. Right. So yeah. He made the right moves, and because I made the mistake. So, but hey, that's what the difference is. And James isn't even that experienced of a puller. He's still pretty green.
He's trust me, he's stout going inside. Paul Stevens, yes, sir. Please make my bet next year, because I'm telling you right now, it's going to be fun. And when you get more athletes outside the state of Oregon or Washington, it gets exciting. And I'll say this, and Lewis, you can probably talk about this more, but I'll get to that in a second. But Mr. Mode, the rest of the year, what does it look like for you?
LLD, the 4th of July tournament that I'm throwing on, Joe Woody. I'm going to try making Pocatello August 2nd, and then August 9th in Gladstone, Oregon. And then anything in between that I can make, I'll make. But then Washington State's my main focus.
You Pocatello, or are you talking Redmond?
I'm talking Redmond, LLD, and then
so Redmond. Okay, so Redmond, LLD. I'm sorry.
Redmond, Oregon.
Point. Okay, and then you going North Idaho or actually Pocatello?
I wanted to go the August 2nd one.
August 2nd. Is
that Jordan Spadell's thrown on.
Okay, that's North Idaho. That's not.
So North Idaho then. Sorry.
Not east.
So Pocatello's around LOD then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, the August 2nd one.
It's the same day.
Okay, so the August 2nd one's the one I want to make. The one that Jordan Spadell's thrown on.
Yeah, that's
what I want to make. And then I'm going to try going to all those, and anything in between, and then Washington State's my main focus.
I see we're on the same page. Hey, I think Ryan Boussier, are you going to make Washington State this year? Paul Stevens, are you going to make it this year?
Ryan.
That'd be kind of awesome. What's
Mr.
that?
Mr. Boussier. Mr. Bougier, if you're pulling Washington State, I might see you in the 220 class. So
you gonna be 220 by then?
I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. That's something to shoot for. So, what do y'all think? Because I only do one event a year, promote wise. I'm not a promoter, but I do one event. It's a fundraiser, but I gotta say, Idaho came in. It was just whacking everybody. So my question to you, Derek, Nick, is that going to be the same case this year? Because the Tills, Spadell.
Who in Idaho beat me at your event last year?
He's talking Supermatch. He's talking Supermatches, and then a couple of the more of the lightweights, not the heavyweights.
I was gonna say. I was like, who in the heck? Who in the heck?
Heavyweights? No, dude. I was burnt out from fucking. Sorry, excuse the language. I was burnt out from manhandling everybody on the table, getting them all set up, and and then go to poll, and I beat God, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I beat like 3 people and then got torched,
right,
by everybody else. So I was just lessons learned. I'm only going to officiate. I'm going to have my super match and officiate. That's it.
Well, like I said, because those guys. The Tills, they'll be there, and damn it, man! I swear to God, y'all got to show up. I mean, they came in here and damn it made the Idaho Invitational. I'm thinking, all right, look, we can't be having that, man. We can't be having that.
We'll see where it's at. I mean, Derek's been wanting to get after me left-handed. I beat him. Did I beat you twice or one time in Washington?
One time, I think 2 years ago.
Was it okay? And then I don't know if it was anything else other than that. And I think I beat you left hand. I think I beat you right hand. Or should we had a decent match right handed? I can't remember. It was one of the two matches was fairly decent. And
I think it was left-handed. I've never pulled you right.
Okay, so then I know you've been wanting to get after me.
Mr. Lewis, you better be on point because Derek's feeling good right now, man.
Last time I'm not pulling right. We're pulling left.
I'm saying he's feeling good right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the last time we pulled, his hand felt great. Yeah,
he's feeling awesome right now. So
yeah, his hand felt really, really good. So that's I'm excited for it. I'm going to come in and be the typical Lewis, and it's going to be loud, and I'm going to be energetic, and I'm going to hit. I'm not going to be as vulgar actually at all, like David was, but no flipping you off in the face or anything like that. I'm just going to death stare you like you've touched my child, and I'm going to kill you. And that's about it.
Just keep the same energy after the first round.
Right. Elbows coming in.
Yeah, every round, keep that energy.
Are we gonna see that?
Did you watch me pull Chuck Young?
Chuck? Yeah, I was impressed. That was right-handed, right?
Yeah, it was right-handed. Yeah, that's probably similar to what it's gonna be like. It's just gonna be he was I was so angry. I was so just mentally like I literally almost started crying. Like there was that close-up shot. You see the bead of sweat running down my face. I'm holding back tears.
Oh my Lord.
So angry.
No, I mean that. Okay, so let's go back to that match for a second. That is, to me, because I know both you guys, and for me, it was exciting to watch because of the intensity. And I know, what both of you guys bring to the table. That was awesome. I'm thinking, okay, I like that. And again, damn, I keep saying to myself, I wish M Spot was still around because I think that right there might have gave more opportunities for like a Nick Mode, Derek, Lewis. I guess I'll throw my name in the hat just to sit there because I was on point to go to their City Slickers and Country Folk event on October 4th, but now that's no longer. So I got other aspirations that weekend anyway now. So that opened up for me. But I think that would have been an awesome situation. However, I do believe in Neil's index figures. If he's still in the chat, by all means, speak up on that he might be put on some events too in Montana or whatnot, or we'll come up there in like Alberta, Canada, whatever. If that's true, let us know because that's also a situation that'd be kind of cool to do, just to kind of throw it out there. But I know everybody has their own tournaments laid out, But I think at the end of the day, everyone's pointing to Washington State. I think it's fair to say Washington State is the one. We'll do tournaments before that to kind of see where we're at. But Washington State is the one that's going to, tell the tale who's going where, and that's going to put a cap on the calendar year. What do y'all think about Washington State anyway?
I love it. I think it's awesome. There's always international guys. There's guys from many different states, and there's always going to be an elite guy or two in every class. So,
right.
I mean, that's my goal every year right now is just I want to place in Lakeland. That's where I want to be.
Well, we'll see. If Nick goes and pulls 222s, then I'm going to step away and I'm going to go pull 242s. My goal is to get down to 220, but
I'm pulling both.
Well, then fine. I guess I'm just.
If I pull 220 and pulling both, it's most likely going to be 242. But my goal was 220, but I think it's going to be a big cut. So I might shoot for next year 220. This year 242.
Yeah, it's like I cruise anywhere between 220 to 240. I mean, I could get as big as 265, but the fun drugs are just they put a little too much stress on the body, so I don't play around with that too much anymore. I'm waiting for that new set of peptides to come out that Regeneron is working on right now.
Yeah, right. A few years from now, we can all be like Levon.
Did you see what Regeneron is doing? Anybody watch that?
Yeah, I did. I watched that. It's crazy.
Myostatin inhibition.
Yes. You just uncorks the body and you just no longer have any restrictions on how much muscle you can put on.
Then
Yep,
we'll all notice
it-
that to be like Nick.
Yep, it inhibits your myostatin, so you can put on as much muscle as you want because your body won't prevent you from putting on size.
Uh-huh.
Man,
I'm pretty
I ain't
sure
trying to
yours
do none of
already
that
does
stuff,
that.
man.
What?
What's that?
What'd
I
you
said
say,
I
Nick?
think Nick's body already does that naturally. That dude's getting huge.
There ain't nothing natural about me, buddy.
Yeah, I'll leave that stuff alone because that's why I'm in the old man's class. I'll let you young
Just go
bucks
to your
keep up.
health doctor. They can prescribe you some Deca. You know, that's one of the ones that they can prescribe you. Your joints will feel better. You may retain a little bit of water, but you'll be good.
Nah, I'm good about what I got going on. You know, just kind of go natural and go, okay, if I can beat you, cool. If I can't, then I can't. That's just the way it is, you know. So that's how I roll, you know.
No, it's just TRT for me at the moment. I ain't doing nothing now.
There's
Wife would kill me.
Test for me, right? It's test for me right now as well too. So
Yeah. Don't care. I mean, you do what you want to do. I'll play games. Derek over there being quiet. He's like, yeah, you know.
No, I take tests. That's all I'm taking.
Yeah.
So.
I don't take a goddamn thing of candy. That's all I take.
Oh, dude, I ate some
Mountain Dew and Pez dispensers.
Oh man.
candy.
No, I'm trying to get down to 220 for that Mexicali tournament next month in Mexicali. So, you know, I feel better. I mean, just for health reasons, man. I'm telling you, man, when you're 250 and I was 250 January 1st, I'm like, dude, I can't be carrying this weight, man. I mean, just going up and down the steps at home is just like killing me. I can't be doing that. So, you know, health wise too, because now my high blood pressure is not as high anymore because I got rid of some of that weight. So I'm thinking, yeah, let's just go ahead and get a little bit, you know, more and stuff. So, you know,
well, I mean, I gave you a scare, Jody. You know, I told you where I was at. I gave you a scare, so you were like, well, I better be ready for Lewis. So I better be 260. Because I told you where I was. I was like, I'm almost 270 pounds right now.
Mr. Lewis is that why you're running away from the 220s?
Why?
Because I'm going to be in the 220s eventually.
I mean, obviously, eventually, it shouldn't make a difference. It really shouldn't matter. I should just be able to show up and pull and block you. So I know that right now I'm not.
I'm flicking your shit, bud.
I mean, if Derek can block you, then I'm in trouble. If he can block you, I'm in trouble. If he can't, then I'm going to be just fine.
No. There's so many levels between me and Nick, and you're not anywhere in any of those, I don't think.
No. I couldn't tell you where Nick and I would line up right now. I'm not, you know,
I'm letting you know right now. I'm about 2 or 3 levels above where I was in April. So,
well, that's tough for me to say because I was also whooped from heavy training at that tournament. So I don't know. Fresh on fresh, I could judge myself, but I was not fresh that day.
Well, let's be real. If you guys meet in the tournament, and then, I don't know, I mean, are you going 242, Nick?
At LLD?
Probably not, huh?
No. My original plan was to, but since I got the match to Cire, it isn't my plan anymore now.
Because, I mean, I was going to say, if y'all for some reason met in the tournament and Lewis pulled up a weight, I mean, hell, neither one of you guys are going to be fresh anyway. Because
if he wants to hop in supers, he can hop in supers, man.
I did that last year.
I mean,
I'm not
going to pull the tournament. I'm just going to pull my match and then referee because we got to have some quality referees. We got to have good people that know what's going on, what to look at, and how things do.
Yeah, I mean,
Lewis ain't trusting Derek.
What's that?
I said Lewis ain't trusting Derek.
Now. We'll see where it goes. I'm confident. I know Derek's confident.
I'm just starting shit.
You know, for me right
now,
like
he's my cousin. I have to start shit. He ain't gonna start shit, so I'm gonna start it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a talker as far as that goes. Like I said, I don't care who you are and where you came from. I'm gonna give everything I got to it. You know, because the only reason I'm that way is because I have been put up against in whether it just be practices with Tim Talmadge and everybody, right? So it's like I've pulled Rob, I've pulled Sandras, I've pulled Giannis, I've pulled Ray, I've pulled Uncle John. You know, it's just like I've had the opportunity to pull with all of them, see how I progress and where I've moved, and it's like, all right, cool. Some of these people I can hang with, like Uncle John. He's been training real hard. There was a moment where I felt, 2 years ago, Derek, when you and I had it, I pulled Uncle John left, and Uncle John had to put it into another gear. He had to take it out of first gear and put it into second gear, and I was like, all right, I slowed you down. Congratulations to me.
Mhm.
Right.
Do you consider yourself a hand dominant puller? You keep referencing your hand.
It depends. It depends on who I am up against and what I feel. With who I train with and how I train, for me, I'm not going to try and control you fully. Oh,
There
look who
he
showed
is.
up.
The big man's here.
Look who finally
What's up,
showed
man?
up.
I'm not going to
Oh,
try
way to go.
and control you completely, but I'm going to feel where you're going, and I'm going to manipulate and block and bait and play games that way.
That is a
Yeah.
bad idea. That is a bad idea. You do not want to mess with his hand.
Oh, I know his hand felt really
Even
strong
I
last
will not mess with Derek with Derek's hand.
last time we pulled, he was just wanted to crush down, and so yeah.
Well, let's all take that to the side for a second because the other part of this puzzle has just arrived. Mr. Cire, welcome to the show.
Appreciate you having me. Sorry I'm late,
What's
gentlemen.
up?
Long day at work. But
We
Oh,
get
no
you.
worries.
glad I made it,
Hey,
get to represent a little bit.
congratulations on your tournament out in Wyoming. How was that?
Oh, it was fun, man. I haven't really pulled tournaments, so I pulled King of the Table, left-handed, and had a couple of super matches here and there, but really wanted to get back into the tournament scene. So went out there to have some fun and wound up playing around with AJ Henson school and a couple of other big boys out there. So it was fun. It was good to get my hands back in the thick of tournament pulling since I've only been doing, super matches. So it's been good.
Right. Well, I saw that. And how'd that feel going against AJ?
Oh, it feels good, man. And not taking anything away from him. He's a strong dude. I just had his number.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
So how you feel working up to this? We're about 2 weeks out, give or take, and so now we're about to, get ready for this match. You got your opponent Nick Mode right there and stuff, and Nick's been putting in the work. As if you haven't seen on social media, he's posting like 17 times a day. So he's like, hey, he's posting his meal prep, he's posting his workouts and stuff. So he's taking it seriously, my friend. How's your workouts and your prep going for your match coming up?
Honestly, I every day, I said this to a buddy of mine earlier. Every day I feel stronger and stronger. I'm sticking to a pretty solid game plan that we've come up with. We've had a couple of setbacks. About a week ago, my brother-in-law wound up in the hospital, so that's really put a hamper on my training because we've been dedicating that to him. Outside of that, hit the grindstone today. Had the little tournament on Saturday to see how I felt. Felt amazing. Feels just stupid strong, and I think Nick is. I'm not gonna sell him short. He's a tough cat. I see the numbers he's putting up, but I'm not putting up numbers for a reason. And really looking forward to, showing what's up when it comes to it. I had one setback with Leroy, not taking anything from him. He had forget the train. Sorry, it's loud as hell.
That's all right.
A train's gonna be coming.
It is no joke here, brother. You buy a house at the right price, but it comes with a cost.
Oh yeah, sacrifices.
Yeah.
Well, good, man. I'm glad it's working out for you. So tell me with that Leroy match. I mean, I saw that. I was like, oh, you got two big studs. I'm thinking, man, how much power can one table manifest with you two guys on there? How was that match?
So this isn't taking anything away from Leroy. I've never been pumped like that in my life. He came in with the right game plan and just kept me out of my lane. I've never Kings moved on the left, so it was just the most awkward arm wrestling I've ever debuted, ever left-handed.
Yeah.
I do have a Kings move, but it's on the right, and it gets me into trouble more often than not. So we've trained that away. Open top roll kind of looks similar to a king's move, but I keep that in the arsenal. But the left hand, man, I've never done that before, so it was just the most awkward setting up outside my shoulder. He had the right setup to prevent me from moving how I wanted to. That being said, we have definitely trained that away. And I made sure to test that out against AJ, knowing that he's got a lot of side pressure in his load. He's got a really good hand. And I feel like if Leroy and AJ were to have a match, I would actually edge that out to AJ. But
So are you saying you want to have a hook war?
What's that?
Are you saying you want to have a hook war?
Dude, we can go wherever you want to go. I'm that confident. We can start in a hook. If you wanted to start in a hook, we could start in a hook.
You want to have a hook war?
Yeah, whatever you want, brother. I'm prepared.
All right,
I'm that
sounds
confident.
good.
So that's what I'm talking about. So,
old school wrist wrestling.
What's
that?
Let's do old school wrist wrestling. Hands underneath. Hands underneath. Just
even better. You just want to do that. That's fine. The hand is plenty strong enough, big enough, but sometimes it gets in the way of getting the job done. So you want to just wrist to wrist, baby. We could do that too.
Oh,
Let's
no.
do it.
Old school wrist wrestling. Hands.
All 3 rounds?
No cap.
We test them all. It don't matter to me. We start high, start low, start inside, start out. I don't care.
Let's do it.
Oh, man. This is
do
what
it.
I'm talking about. This right here.
Let's do it. Let's have a hook war.
Hell yeah. I got my arms are way smaller than yours, brother. It's just these little things are babies.
Mine too. They're just toned. They're only like 12 inches.
See, hey, I'm right behind you. 11 and a half. Biceps aren't for arm wrestling. That's what it is.
So, Ray, also,
yeah,
you were at the Bob Brown round robin too.
Yeah.
And was that the one where you pulled Wayne Withers?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got the win over him. How did that feel? Tell me about that.
It felt good. So considering, I had surgery, so I haven't really pulled right-handed besides training with Brian, because I had a full distal rupture back in July, had surgery at the end of July. So I wasn't sure how I was going to handle that, and I didn't want to necessarily go into catching him, but he was one hand that's just longer than mine, so I could not get the hand control to start. But when he hit, I got hand control after he hit. And I was like, oh, all right, I'll bait you on that. So if you go back and watch the video, I look right at Bob Brown and I point at him. I said, I got you. And he was like, he smiles real big. And then we came back around, caught him on the next one, brought him over, caught him on the next one, and then pressed him. So I felt confident in knowing that I was intuitive on the table. I knew where I could move after the first go. The Wallace the Wallace Dilly match after that, that fucking hurt. That dude.
That guy is strong looking, man.
Yeah. Well, so I took hand control from him when we were setting up, and he hit early. Right. And when he hit early, I took that all directly into the bone. And I was like, oop, nope, activated. I was just apprehensive. Like, no, I don't want to even try and catch that. So I tried to run inside real quick and felt it come over. Tried to run outside. He had the hand control there. So I was like, cool. Minimal effort in that match because of the early hit. But I'm cognizant of those. I'm aware where I'm moving on the table now. So it makes me a hell of a lot more dangerous.
This is a good thing about this sport because, Wallace Dilly, strong as hell. Now, you saw him firsthand, Cire, you pulled him and stuff, and now he's going to get his chance at the East vs. West, which takes place the same day as the LLD Summer Bash.
I know.
In Chicago. And he's pulling that stud out of Australia or was it South Africa? One of the two.
South Africa.
Rickard Borman.
Yeah, so he's pulling him. So I'm going, okay, this is where and I've always told people in the past, man, it's all about opportunities. So, let's talk about Derek and Lewis for a second. These guys, opportunity, if Derek can get that win, okay, that might give him some, some momentum to go. If Lewis gets the win, now Lewis is like, okay, I want my feed me more, that kind of scenario.
I want you. I already talked to Tim. I told Tim, Jody and I, Supermatch, Washington.
Oh, is that what you want? You want that at Washington State?
No.
You want that left-handed or right-handed? Just
you want that heat?
Hold on for a second.
If he left.
Now, let me get this straight. Let me take a step. Hold on for a second. I want to make sure I understand what I'm hearing right now. You said as of 6:51 Pacific Standard Time on June 9th, 2025. You want me at Washington State left-handed? Is that what I'm hearing?
Done.
Okay. All right.
I didn't get my May opportunity.
Derek, you better talk to your boy over here, Derek. You don't know, man.
He should just focus on me, I think. So
You will talk to your boy. But it's an opportunity, yeah. And you and I will talk turkey about that.
you guys won't have that conversation, I promise.
Oh yeah. See, there you go.
We won't have
Hey,
that conversation.
if you can't get by Derek, then you can't see me.
I'll
But
be Jody's gatekeeper.
there you go. See that?
The mode boys are coming to win. So
Yes. So you look at Cire, you look at Nick Mode, right? So here's Cire. It's all about opportunity. You got the opportunity. You beat Wayne Withers when it mattered most. Boom. Now you're what? Top 15 in North
13.
America. Yeah. So you kind of go, okay, that's cool. And if Nick's like going, okay, and I feel, and I've always said this, that Nick is probably the strongest person in Oregon from an arm wrestling standpoint. And I'm thinking, okay, can he apply it when it matters most? So again, opportunity comes knocking. If some way, somehow you can get that, victory on Cire, that's going to open doors for you, man. So look at Wallace Dilly.
Yeah.
What did he do? He beat the guy. He beat Barbosa in the finals.
He beat everybody.
I think he did. He beat Paul Passmore first, right?
Yeah.
Jody,
Everybody.
Jody, did you say if?
I'm just saying anything can happen.
It's when. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Overconfidence bears its own ugly fruit, my brother. So
I am kidding. I'm the most humble person you'll ever meet. I'm just putting on a show.
Hell yeah.
I'm a very humble person. So.
Oh no, I'm aware of this, man. Which is, it makes it hard. Like the last when I pulled Leroy, very similar disposition. Hard to talk trash to, hard to get it going. The difference there, I think, is we're gonna have a head ref, a top ref and a down ref. We'll be able to set up how we want to set up. We'll agree to the setup, whatever it is, and we'll be able to bang it out there, as opposed to it being just kind of top side. You're not really airing things out. I don't know if you guys watched the entire match or if at all. It was awkward. All the matches were awkward, just having one ref up top, no down ref. You can only pay attention to one person's setup, not really watching center table, that kind of thing. So it makes a huge difference. And I think that's where the wherewithal comes through for me is I do this 4 days a week. I'm pulling 4 days a week, and I'm lifting at least 5 days a week. So I'm putting those two together. Plus, I got a pretty labor-intensive job, apprehending suspects and whatnot. So it's it's going to be a battle, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking past you, Nick, not one bit.
This is what I like to hear.
That would be a mistake.
Hey, you guys, don't forget, you got to get some raffle tickets too, because I got this big giant poster sitting right here for when the East vs. West came to Arlington, and it's all the competitors that were there autographed it.
Oh yeah.
And I got in the frame right now, but y'all got to look at this to see how big this thing is. I put this thing in a frame. Y'all see this?
Thing's huge.
That thing's sweet. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and we're
Looks
talking.
like mine.
Yeah, see that? So I'm telling you right now, we're gonna raffle this thing off, man. I'm telling you, man. I can't wait to present the person who wins that raffle right there. I'm telling you right now, because we got Brzezinski, Yoshi, we got Georgie, Chafee, Cody, Devin, Matt Mass, Unger Bayev, Sharkovich, Giannis, Toulier, Corey West, John Therian. It goes on. Everybody on that poster autographed that, and I cannot wait to sit there and say, hey, who's who, ticket number, yada, 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 and go, bam, there you go. I'm telling you, that's going to be exciting. I can't wait. June 21st, everybody, Redmond, Oregon. It's going to be a bash, man. I'm telling you right now, summer bash is upon us, Lewis is going to come out.
Be hot.
Yes, but here's the thing. We're going to be on stage, so it'll be outside. We'll be on the stage, but it's covered. So it'll be hot, but you'll be in the shade. And then the area.
Everybody told me I'm gonna lose 15 pounds. They said I'm gonna get seaside. Yeah, I'm gonna be seaside, full of all that moisture. I'm just gonna be dripping sweat. You come
It's
back 15
honestly
pounds lighter. I'm
the
like, all right,
humidity. The humidity ain't even, and it really isn't anything to worry about over there because you're more west. You're closer to Idaho than you are the coast.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's high desert. It's hot. It's dry.
It's
Okay.
more east. It's more central eastern. Well, west is where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the secret to your weight loss. I got you.
Yeah.
So without being, I'm gonna ask you guys, who are the favorites in the other on the opposite matches? So, Derek, I'm gonna ask you first. I know you're gonna be kind of biased, but Cire, Nick, who's gonna win? Why?
So I have actually watched quite a few of Cire's matches, and I feel like if it was right-handed, it would be a lot closer. I feel like left-handed, I've just seen so much from Nick. I just can't fathom somebody beating him right now. I mean, everyone in practice is using two arms. It's insane. So
Good.
yeah,
I like the sound of that.
I think if you could King's move the same way that you can on your right with your left, I think I could see it being a match, possibly. But if you go inside with him, I think it's 3-0. So,
Ooh, challenge
There you
accepted.
go.
yeah.
Mr. Lewis, what do you think? Who's going to win the match between Cire and Nick, and why?
I like both of them. I like both of them a lot. Cire and I have a history because when Cire first started coming up, I could actually move Cire around. Arizona State, I could play with you, I could do things with you, and then now you've put in the effort and you've worked. You also have a wonderful unfair advantage of a amazing strength coach pulling the Shaw.
I knew that was going to come up.
So there are things that you are able to do and accomplish in different vectors. I think that you're able to focus on that Nick may not be able to focus on nearly as much. So I'm gonna say Cire only for the fact that Cire's been putting in the work with Shaw, and there's an edge to be had with that, with just the knowledge that he has in strength training alone.
There you
I
have
think
it.
that's fair. I impressed Brian on the daily, so I mean it's a good thing there. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Cire, Cristobal says, greetings to Cire from Mexicali. He's very disciplined in his training. He's reaching another level, as evidenced by his participation in Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas was awesome. He got to see some of the unedited footage, and after the event was all said and done, there wasn't anybody there that could move me left or right. So
There you go.
it was just a ready go situation that literally panned out to being outside of where I wanted to be. So even then, after we went down to Mexicali and pulled down there at the King of Baja, and
Right.
I did not pull the tournament because I truly believe there was nobody there that could have messed with me at all. No disrespect to Don Underwood, but he gripped up with me when we went out to eat dinner, and he was like, "What the fuck is that?" So he let it know. Messing around with Tim could vouch for that too. Both left and right hand. He's a tough. Everybody knows Tim is a tough dude.
Yeah,
And he
all
was
he does
like,
is drink whiskey and referee. Why? I don't get it. He drinks whiskey and referees, and all of a sudden he's like,
Well,
number
and if you
10.
also think about it, Tim may not practice, but if you think about it, every weekend he's with elite arm wrestlers,
Absolutely.
and I'm pretty
I
sure he
know.
gets to pull with them all the time. So that's probably it plays a big
It's
factor.
part of it.
Plus
I
he's
lived
very
in Phoenix.
experienced.
I lived
He's
in Phoenix
tricky.
with him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's tricky. He's experienced. He's a really great puller.
You know he's been arm wrestling since he was like 10 years old.
Yeah,
he's
since
good.
before I was born.
I liked him.
Yeah.
He's been on the block. So
Like,
now,
when I dad moved him, he was like, "I hate you."
so now we're going to flip the script. Now I'm going to ask Cire and Nick who their opinions are about the Lewis and Derek match. Who's going to win and why? Nick, go ahead, run it first.
Okay, so I felt Lewis in Idaho. He said he was tired from the gym. I do think even if you were 30 or 40% stronger from being tired from the gym, I still don't think you're gonna be able to mess with dead now. I'm gonna stay 3-1.
Saying 3-1, Derek. All right.
And I'm
So,
gonna
Ray,
say I'm gonna say 3-1 because I think Derek's gonna win 3-0, and then he's gonna ask for a fourth round, and he's gonna let you go. He's gonna ask you wherever you want to go, and I think you might pull you might pull out a trick.
wait, he's going to win 3 and then ask a 4th round.
Yes.
Offer him a 4th one.
Oh, from a fourth one.
Oh, okay. Okay, I like that. So, Ray, what do you think? Derek or Lewis? Who's going to win and why?
All right. So I know nothing about Derek, and I'm obviously going to bet against him because he's betting against me. But I'm going to say this about Lewis. I met Lewis back in April of 22. That was what he was talking about when he was throwing me all over the table. That was the first tournament I have ever been to.
Yep.
I mean, I think I was like not even 5 weeks into arm wrestling
Nope.
and had the opportunity to go down there and pull. And his attitude and energy was awesome. And he has this thing which is backloading that I had never heard about until I met him. And since then, I've seen it rear its head quite a bit. I think that he definitely has the skill and knowledge, and depending on how he comes in prepared, regardless of how tired he was when Nick felt him, I think he's going to put up a good fight, and I'm going to be cheering for him, rooting for that. Can't let Oregon boys take home or keep anything there. Sorry, fellas. I got to take what's mine, and he's got to take what's his.
Okay.
So Lewis,
Well,
and I'll say, just like Nick said, I'm gonna say 3-1, and he's gonna ask for a 4 just to give Derek 1.
So you guys are betting against the Mode Boys?
Well,
Is
what I
Derek's
see-
last name Mode?
There's another.
Are you guys brothers?
They're cousins.
He's my cousin. His
Oh.
mom's a Mode, and his mom's Mode, and my mom's Mode. They're sisters.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I guess I am.
Well,
Well,
I guess there's no
here's the
secret.
question. You're the promoter, so you're not going to have a bias. You shouldn't have a bias.
Right.
I want to hear what Jody has to say.
But I want to, from what Derek says and what you say, without having any bias, without giving and alluding to anyone having one side or another,
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your personal opinion of where Derek was to where Derek is now, pre and post surgery.
When you're coming out of post surgery, you also got to realize too that you don't heal like that overnight. So there's that. But I can give you a real last year's Derek you saw at the Supermatch at LLD, 10 times better now. I'll say that. 10 times better.
Good.
And I think a lot, he's putting the work in the gym, but I think his table IQ has also risen up, which make him that more deadly. Where I think, and Derek can probably tell you this, and he might get mad if I say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I think he had so much going on last year, that there ain't no distractions this year. There is no I gotta go, to a family function or whatever. I'm focused here now. A focused Derek is probably a dangerous Derek, and I'm telling you, he really deep down wants something to prove, and so I think he's gonna unleash some serious power. I think Derek's gonna unleash something I've never seen before because we train together, but yet it's training. When we go to a tournament, there's a switch that everyone has. Everybody on this screen has a switch they flip when it comes from practice to actual tournament status, and then I think now with Derek, he has no distractions. He don't have to leave and go be somewhere else after this match. That right there, he can focus squarely on that. That's going to unleash a different version of Derek. That's just my opinion.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that because from now back to when you and I played around, Nick, different, completely different. I will tell you right now the progression that I have made from that time back in March, was that?
It was
March?
in April.
Yeah, it was March. Was it April? Early April.
It was early April.
Yeah. So from that time, early April, to now, straight up trajectory. It did not slow down. It did not slow down.
Honestly, I was on the couch in April, still recovering from my surgery.
I get you.
And was released. I mean, I think it's just now like almost 8 weeks ago. So,
What'd you have surgery on, if you don't mind me asking?
I had a hernia in my stomach, so I had to have a mesh put in.
Okay.
So it's like a core thing, it's kind of hard to contract and do any type of workouts and stuff. I could lift 10 pounds at a time. So I was doing 10-pound pronation lifts, 5 sets of 60, doing riser. Went for
So your
walks every
endurance
day.
is through the roof. Your endurance is through the roof. The stamina is there. That's what you're telling him.
I'm trying. I don't know. I'm working at it. So.
And we all know that the biggest thing for me is I am sticky on my left. Plain and simple. There is a spot because Rob, that was what I trained with Rob. Rob was the only spot. I was the only one on the table that could stick Rob and make Rob work. Yeah. And then I got injured. Yay. Because I could hold him. That's it. I could hold him. And that was it. And then so there's gonna be that there. It's still there. It hasn't gone away. Yeah. We're all filled up. So, and I'm going to throw the wrist to the wind. And if the wrist explodes like it did against Greg Sharp, then the wrist explodes like it did against Greg Sharp. Congratulations, Derek. You got to win.
So you're implying you're going to literally try to give your hand up?
Oh, no, I won't give the hand up. So what happened? So Greg Sharp and I pulled at a UAL several years ago. And I went to pronate and rise all the same. And when I kicked up and back on the back side of my wrist here, on the front side of my wrist here, there was a very loud, audible, physical snap.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, ow.
Right. And it just, nervous system just shut the arm down. Like it just stopped. And I had dealt with that for over 3 years. Jody and I got into a very similar position, felt the twinge, and I went, nope. And I let it go.
Yeah.
So I know there's no money on the line. It's all pride. But if I get into that position, I'll be smart about it, try to get out of it, get to the strap, and make the changes.
Yeah.
There you go. It's going to be awesome. I'm assuming you guys are going to be in each other's corners for you guys' matches, correct?
I mean, if Cire wants to be.
It doesn't bother me at all. You're welcome to join my wife. I don't know if I'll hear you over her, but having
definitely be in Derek's corner.
What's up?
There you go.
I'll definitely be in Derek's corner. So
for sure.
I think to be honest with you, I think several of the Idaho guys are going to Pocatello, and they're not coming up. I think so, which my corner man would be gone, and then I don't think RJ's going to be there because RJ's going to go to Chicago.
No, I got you. I'll be there for you, no problem.
Yeah, as far as my Idaho guys go, but I'm sure David and all them will be there too. So I'd love to have Cire in my corner.
I don't think David will be there. I think it's just Brennan, Groot, and a couple other guys. I think David has something going on with the work.
Would make sense. His company.
Yeah.
He said he'll make it, so we'll find out. So, yeah. Well, guys, hey.
What about mine and Cire's match?
Oh, you want me to talk about that too?
Yeah.
Okay, like I said, as a promoter, you don't sit there. You want, first of all, the only thing I want besides an actual good match is everybody to come out injury free, right? Let's be honest. Let's take that because there's a lot on the line. Because I think after this week, or not this weekend, but that weekend, the 21st, there's going to be some stocks that's going to rise.
Sure.
That I can assure you. Whose it is, I don't know, but there's going to be some stocks on the rise, after that weekend. If I'm a betting man, which I'm not, I will say this. I know that I think it's a safe bet to say Cire has a bigger hand than Nick Mode. Not a problem. I got that. Now, how Nick performs, it depends on, okay, do I attack his hand? Maybe, maybe not. Do I take him inside so I can avoid that hand? I don't know. Well, do I take him in the strap? We don't know. Is Cire stronger inside the strap than he is out of strap? I don't know. A lot depends on that. But at the same time, does Cire want to bait, Nick? Oh, let's just go into a hook and see what happens, and goes, okay, maybe I should have not done that. I don't know, because I've pulled with Nick a few times, more times than not. With Cire, him and I, last time we locked up, just messed around, was at that 64 Aries thing last year, and stonewalled me. I couldn't do anything with it. And just, when you grip up with somebody and you see the girth of the hand, it's like, I think, in my opinion, I have a decent size hand until I gripped up with Cire, and I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work out for me. So a lot depends on the setup, I think. And a lot, because in most arm wrestlers, the setup is the key and stuff. The thing is, though, who has the hit and who has the power to slow that hit down. That will be, my ideal. Like, I think maybe Nick might be faster, but if Cire stops that hit and then he uses all that strength he's been doing, that might be a long day. But who knows? Anything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So
his football training camp mentality is going to come back.
Are you going to pull the tournament, Cire?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, I'll pull left and right hand. I mean, regardless of what the outcome is, I'll pull left and right hand.
Is Voktan going to show up?
Voktan's next tournament is going to be the Washington State one.
Okay, he's not going to go to LLD. That's a bummer. I was hoping Cire would have a chance.
I'll be in Washington for sure this year.
Oh, good.
We were going to make it before, so I'll be in Washington for sure. Same thing is the only reason why I pulled Burns is because Burns is literally an hour away from my house. Otherwise,
you just moved up to Arizona. Wyoming, right?
No, I live in Berthoud, so I live in Colorado. But like I said, it's about an hour, 10 minutes away from the house, so it's close. Gotcha. So that's the only reason why I pulled that tournament. That and my teammates went up there, and I think collectively my team, we swept every weight class. So everybody won there.
Well, let's talk about Jody. I don't mean to take over your show here, but let's talk about Shaw and his coming up in September.
The Shaw Classic.
It's August 15th. The arm wrestling is August 15th. It's official, but they haven't put out my flyer yet. I'm pulling Derek Smith right-handed at the Shaw Classic.
Wow.
We have a whole handful of CT's is pulling Lawrence Shetley, Eddie Hall's pulling Rob, Shaw's pulling
Oberst.
Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I'm supposed to be training with Oberst, and I gave him some handles and stuff, and Oberst has been, I don't know what his focus has been lately. Robert Oberst's focus has been lately, because I was training him and giving him some coaching, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, well, it's still going. I don't know if he's just taking tutelage elsewhere, if he's taking a break from arm wrestling and just working on some strength shit. I have no idea.
Yeah, he's been doing the strongman stuff because he got offered another TV show spot for like $1 million.
You can't go wrong there, man. You don't say no to the money. You don't lose for the money, but you don't say no to the money.
Right.
Especially that case, 7 figures, bro. Like, you'd be a fool not to. So
right.
But yeah, and then there's also, and I'll say this, that there's still a tournament. We're going to push the registration date out a little bit further because it was set to close at the end of the week. It's still open, but we're going to push it out a little bit further so that we can
I thought it was only 20 participants per class.
So when exactly is the Shaw Classic?
It's August 15th is the tournament, and then the Shaw Classic event itself, like the strongest man on earth, is the 16th and 17th.
And is that in Colorado?
It's in Colorado.
Okay, I might have to cancel my August 2nd and 9th plans and come to the Shaw Classic if they're having a tournament, because that sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're pulling 242, right?
I would end up pulling 242 if I went to the Shaw Classic, yeah.
Okay, so I would definitely do it. The prizes are worthwhile. You make your money back for sure. You'll have people right now like Rush Schrader's in that group, Chris Kaufman, handful of guys, decent guys. But we're obviously trying to get more folks into that because this is our first tournament that we're putting on. So the more the merrier. And I posted it, but I'll send it to you guys. I'll send the link for the registration there, and then you can look at the competition, right? Because that's the nice thing about it. The open registration lists everybody per weight class who's pulling. So it'd definitely be worth it.
And they want to fill each slot. So like I said, it's supposed to be 20 applicants per 20 registration slots per.
Yeah, 24 per weight class.
Yeah. So if those all fill up, you're gonna have a day.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a day if you go to that B side.
Sweet.
Yeah, yes, sir. I saw you on there, Ryan.
That guy's a stud. That guy, I'm telling you, man.
Everything. I've seen him in every tournament I've watched on YouTube. That guy's pulling every single.
He's building his brand. He's doing it the right way. I need to post more, but for me, it's everybody jumps on and it's like, oh yeah, Brian's accolades or whatever. For me, I don't fanboy Brian. I go in there and I put in work with him 2 days a week and host practice on Sundays. We all get together. I'm fortunate enough to be training under him, but also get access to Todd, to Neil, to Devin, and have definitely upped my game based on that knowledge, that tutelage or whatever. But he's his own brand, right? And I'm trying to be my own brand. So I want to be the
Oh,
respectful
100%.
guy, not the crazy guy from Arizona State last year, but the guy who's on it now, right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's
We
good.
had
I'm
the
glad.
push in Ozzy. It's all good.
Yeah. That wasn't my fault. That's all I'll say there.
I'm glad you
He
said
did
that,
start it.
Ray.
He did start it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you said that because you do train with Brian Shaw. I know you've gotten these questions and comments time and time again. It's like, look, Brian's his own entity. I'm trying to be my own entity. Yeah, we're partners in training and that kind of stuff. But when it comes down to the brass tacks, he's his own man. I'm my own man. I think some people kind of forget that. I could be wrong by saying that, but it's just like, look, Cire's getting stuff. He's getting stuff done. You're not going to see Brian Shaw at every event that Cire's there. I mean, because again, you guys are your own people. So, but it is.
Cire, I want to hear something from you. So, from your experience with Brian Shaw, how strong is Brian Shaw?
So to answer the question honestly, he, in my opinion, is close to number one in Colorado. I'm number one in Colorado, left and right hand, and he's right there. And considering he's only been doing this officially for a year, I've been with him the entire time. He's approaching 1 year mark here in about 2 weeks. Is absolutely insane. The dude is a nerd the same way that I pride myself in being a nerd. I study every position. I record every practice that I have with myself, pulling whomever. And I'm watching my body position. I'm watching what I'm doing. I'm breaking it down. When it comes to lifts, now as a result of that mentality, I'm doing the same thing. Like, okay, I can increase, another 5% here if I just correct this posture. That's a benefit of Shaw. He is very much the same way. Like his fluid. If you guys go back and watch his first practice in Texas or whatever, not where he's pulling with Devin, but where he's pulling regular Joes.
Yeah.
That's where you see him miles ahead of anybody else who's only been pulling a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then you add that ridiculous strength to it. He's a ticking time bomb, and I would say in the next 2 years he's at the top. Right now he's definitely top 20 U.S.
I think it does come down to what you, myself, I mean Derek, even Jody, we've all had that experience. Some of us more fortunate than others, where we've had that opportunity to train other people. Like when I was living in Arizona, I got to go to Brzezink's house, once or twice a month, and he'd have all sorts of people there, right? Yep. And I get to train and learn and learn and learn. And then Tim, same thing. I go to his. You do a tournament in Arizona, and you be a part of his event. Next thing you know, you're at the after party. You're at his house that next morning. Everybody's there, and you're all pulling again.
That's probably going on right now as we speak.
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of Tim to talk to him. Been trying to get a hold of Mario to talk to him. Give Mario a hard time because Tim gave him the breaks.
Yeah,
lost to Mario Tambakis, but he gave him the breaks. But we've had that opportunity to learn, and we've gained that massive amount of experience. And I think that's Brian's hang up at this point, is he just has not put the knowledge, it hasn't clicked with him yet.
Watch that video
and things like that.
Watch that video.
It's better. It's way better.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Where he's at. You say a year in. I don't think you'd be saying that about anybody else at a year in.
No.
They got way more to learn. That's
just it. Like all of his strengths, his base strengths, everything is there. It's just truly that mind, muscle, tendon connection, and that hand and understanding the pressures and when and where and how to apply them.
Correct. Yep. Getting to position too early is the biggest plight for any arm wrestler.
It has to be almost a disadvantage to start out as strong as he is, also, because he's almost wanting to not break the people he's pulling. So his training partners, he has to try to keep them safe while trying to learn.
Well, that's why women are so much more apt. Like I give it up to the women's arm wrestlers because their technique is so much more crisp.
Oh yeah,
by far than
because they're not doing it by horsepower. No, there's no horsepower.
We can get in here. A lot of guys just want and just come right straight across because we're so strong, and that's not how to arm wrestle, right? You have to learn. Yeah, it's amazing to see where Brian is and how he understands and immediately understood this is a pulling sport and really worked hard to not get to that last point where like, okay, I'm here, I can't finish, and then push. Like it didn't take him very long to correct that.
Yeah, no, that's when he and I pull. That is the same statement every time. I tell him I'm gonna fight you. and he doesn't hold back. And that man, when he can get to that point, if you guys watch the Eddie Hall fight, there's a moment there where you're looking at him in his eyes, he looks like a bear.
Yeah.
He's that angry, he's that dialed in. That's where he's at every time we pull, and it's a fucking brawl. Like, and
I'm excited to see him pull against
Brandon.
Brandon. Because I want to see where his mentality is. Because I think all the strengths are there, and I think it's going to get to where Brandon's going to get strung out and opened up. And it's
if he does,
where can Brian make the
it's
adjustment?
a bad day. It's a bad day, brother. I'm not. It's a bad day. I think my King's move is one of the hardest to overcome. I genuinely believe that. I've been there with a lot of people. I've had their comments about it. My King's move is nasty. We've discussed it with many people that have pulled Brandon in his peak strength and his King move that have pulled me at the same time. And Brian is right there at cracking mine. I know he's going to eat Brandon's. I know he's going to eat Brandon's.
I'm excited to see it. I wish that Robert was still in contact with me because I've been wanting to train him because I think Robert can beat Eddie because Eddie doesn't have a hand. I don't think Eddie Hall has a hand. He's got baby hands.
I have a baby hand too.
Your hand, so I'm not gonna lie, your hand is probably the same size as Eddie's, but Eddie is 6'3", and right, like he's 6'3" and 400 pounds.
Yeah.
How tall are you? About 5? You're about 5'10".
I'm 5'8", bro.
5'8". Okay, so 5'8". I think AJ Hansen, that was a good match for me size wise. AJ's about the same height, but yet like little hands. AJ's hand's huge. AJ has a huge hand for how short he is. Like, and I'm not calling him short. Like, I mean, 5'8" is above average, right? Or that's average. I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyways, he has a huge hand for his size, which shocked the hell out of me because we gripped up before and I didn't remember being that size, but it didn't matter, right? Little hands. You have little hands.
I have a short hand. I have a really short hand, but it's really, really wide and it's really, really thick.
So we're in the same boat. I have a good size hand. It's a big hand. It's the same size as Levon's. We have the same size hand. So I gripped up in when we were at Atlantic City. We gripped up there.
My hand.
So we have the same size hand.
Wait.
Well, I mean,
mine's soft. I have a soft hand. It's a big hand, but it's a soft hand.
It's like
I don't want you to think that it's Levon's hand and prep for that because it's not that.
I'll say one more thing. I mean, about the Brian Shaw thing. We can wrap this up. I'm the reason why I like this. What they're doing now is because I think what all the pullers did when they try to bring Larry Wheels on the scene, I think he was pushed a little bit too quickly, and
too many Chiefs. You're 100% right.
They pushed him too many times. It's like, okay, well. And I thought he wasn't ready for super matches at the time. I thought he should have did a few more tournaments. What's that?
He should have been solely tournament pulling and way less coaches.
I was going to say, he had too many coaches. He didn't have one set team that he trained with that he could learn from. It was always like he was testing himself against some elite puller. And everyone has a different way they're going to teach you. He had to kind of find his own way, and he never did.
And it's unfortunate. I wish he would have stuck with it, but that fatal practice where he snapped that kid's arm, it's like, okay, he was done. And I understand sometimes that can, mess somebody up psychologically, but the reason why I like the way Brian Shaw's going about this is because of the fact that, okay, I went through with Devin, I got top, but at the same time, I'm still training with Cire and some of the other guys, so I'm still doing this. And when he pulls Brendan Allen, August 15th, you say?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I wish I could be there, but it's the missus' birthday that day, so
congratulations. Happy birthday.
The pay-per-view is also on that too, so yeah, happy birthday early to her.
Yes.
And prioritize that absolutely. I prioritize this match. I could have been there in Chicago for the 21st, but Nick, you got my attention, bro. So I'm there with you. I'm gonna hold hands with you instead of being over there in Chicago hanging out for East versus, or what is it, King of the Table? No, East versus West 18.
I will try to make it worth your time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I know you will. I'm not saying that you won't. That's why it's gonna be a good day. But please believe my iPad's gonna be sitting in the back somewhere in the shade with it going, because otherwise that's where I would have been. And I'm also doing this because LLD, what it stands for, Long Live Donovan. I appreciate everything that you do, Jody. I think it's
Thank
amazing
you.
what you put together. I think that it's going to start gaining a lot more traction and getting fellows like these guys here who are all up and comers, just like myself. If you're going to be that pedestal for us to catapult ourselves into spectator limelight, I really appreciate that. But not to say it short, we're going to be donating the day of. We're making sure that we're circulating amongst. You're going to get donations there as well. We really appreciate everything that you do, brother. Like, proud of you, man. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
I was just.
I gotta
know you
wrap
wrapped
up, you guys. The wife just got home.
All right, brother.
Yeah, I was gonna,
Take care, man.
say just similar on that on Cire, to piggyback on Cire. I'm for me, it's a it's a large donation for me. I'm not made of money, but I'm gonna put up $200 to the LLD, for what you do for me and all the stuff and all that time. You've stayed at the house, Jody. I've appreciated you. You've been a great guy.
Then I'll say this: I'm going to match Lewis's on the day of as well, plus what the team has put together. So
perfect.
Well, I appreciate that, guys. I really do, and I'm just excited to have you guys come down here, support what we do and stuff, and have a good time, that kind of stuff. And like I said, I mean, we raffle off prizes and stuff, and then we got the next fundraiser we got coming up is in August. It'll be for the basketball camps. I mean, we're like the LLD is constantly in the works. Like we get all this. My anxiety is like up here right now because I want to make sure everything goes good. And when that's said and done, the board members get together. Okay, let's focus on this basketball tournament coming up. So it's like a nonstop thing that we do and everything, and making sure I'm like, okay, hey, we got gymnastics coming up. We're talking to parents about that. We know with sports now with travel basketball, travel soccer, it's a big thing. And so we're constantly grinding and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I appreciate what you guys do, come in, support and everything like that, and then have some fun in the process, So yeah, I can't thank you guys enough.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Speaking for everybody else, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah.
Sweet.
We've been fam. You my brother from another mother with a little more melanin. We happy.
There you go. There you go. Well, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much. I'm gonna go ahead and get a bite to eat before I get ready for work. But again, guys, June 21st, Redmond, Oregon, General Duffy's. You're gonna see two of them strong guys. And Scott Evans already said in the chat. It was a power. Let's call it a power meeting because the array of strength.
Get it closer, Lewis. It still looks a little. There you go. There you go.
I guess it should be
No, I'm kidding, buddy.
There you go. There you go. But I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to you guys. In case you guys are watching the show, early weigh-ins Friday night, 6 to 8. And then, of course, we got weigh-ins the day of, 10 o'clock a.m. to 11:30. We kick things off at noon with the super matches, and then we got the tournament rolling. So it's going to be a good day. Hope you guys in the chat make it. You guys will be there. But until then, you guys train safe, and we'll see y'all then.
See you later. Safe travels, guys.
Take care.